Hey guys, how you doing? Duff here. Starting a little bit early because I'm doing the exciting part of an unboxing, which is opening the box. So I'm going to try to actually set it here, maybe, so you guys get a better look at things as opposed to having it behind me. I thought that might be a little bit more effective. Get some additional light on the subject here. All right. So I have heard at least one report of someone that got one of these V12's that had some sort of wear or damage on it. Hi, there I am. So I'm hoping that I am not in that camp, especially considering how long I have been waiting for this wheel to arrive. It's been quite a long time. But I do feel fortunate because it is one of 30 early production models in the United States. At least that's my understanding. I'm not sure if any other dealer has gotten production models in to the United States other than e-wheels. All right, they actually provide you with trolley handle instructions. I've never known Inmotion wheels to be overly difficult to operate their trolley handles, but that's nice. Okay, talking about transportation mode. I'm going to need to plug this charger in for 2 seconds to disable transportation mode. So, like I said, I'm just getting this all set up, guys. So I'd like to put it on the table on a stand, if at all possible. I'm not quite sure how this fits the stand, so there's going to be some trial and error here. So that's why I'm starting a little bit early. And plus, it takes time for people to get in normally. So this will give people some additional time to arrive. Wow, this the detachable power cord. Okay, there it is. It felt rather loose, but you have to push it with more force, and then it attaches securely. All right, so we're going to plug it in. The charger. This is the charger, and 100.8 volt output, as you would expect. 2.3 amp charger. So that's, that's not earth shattering, but it's fine enough for someone in my use situation. I'm normally a fast charge kind of guy. And I mean, you heard what Gotway said. If you fast charge on a regular basis, you better swap your batteries every year. So I'd rather not do that. All right, so this is still in plastic at least. So geez, that's heavy. Okay. All right, so here it is. So it seems every time I do an unboxing, I get a comment afterwards saying, "Hey Duff, what does this thing weigh? It'd be nice if you put it on the scale." Even though, I mean, its weight is published, but let me go grab my bathroom scale, and I will weigh it for you. So just hold on one second. Okay, here I am, slightly off camera. Hopefully you can hear me. And we are putting this on my scale. Let's see what we come up with for a number. Looks like right about 64 pounds. This V11 is, or V12 is checking in at 64 pounds. Not a lightweight. All right, so let's see how we match up. Okay, cool. It looks, well, maybe not so cool. Okay, it looks like I need to widen the stand a little bit for it to sit on here properly. This is a good time to talk about setting up your adjustable stand correctly. I've had some issues in the past where people don't really pay attention to making sure that an adjustable stand is adjusted correctly to the width of their wheel. And if you don't do that, you're going to put unintended forces on the stand. So when you put something on a stand, you want to make sure that it is adjusted so the side supports are straight up and down. You should not be bowed out or bowed in. All right, let's see. Up there looks good. See what I'm doing? I'm just holding it on its side, lining it up. This should be close enough. Oh, that is pretty wide though. Okay. It's good to know. That's one thing that's a pain for me. Some people will say, "Hey, Duff, what's the best stand for my wheel?" And since I cannot afford to own every wheel, I have to go on other people's recommendations. And so I don't always get to test them out firsthand. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So let's see if we can do this. I'm trying it with the table up close. I don't know how well this is going to work, guys. And if you're trying to say something to me in chat right now, I'm not going to be able to really pay much attention to you. Don't take it personally. Okay. There we go. All right, this is one of my new XS stands. So you can't really see it off camera, but has additional width in the base to give you additional stability. All right, so I just want to plug this in to take it out of transport mode. Just giving this thing a quick eyeball to see if I notice anything that looks damaged. No, looks like the pedals might be in the highest position, height position. I don't know if that's the default way that it comes for all of them, but the pedals are pretty high. It should be fine for me. All right, so we're plugged in. Please connect app to activate. Yeah. I can do that. Got my phone right here. Hey, how you guys doing, by the way? I'm hanging in there, you know. Life's like a box of chocolates. That's what someone told me. All right. Search again. V12. All right. Hey, that's a good sound, right? Okay, we're gonna activate. I've already read the safety guidance. Yeah. I wonder if this has something similar to the V11 where you. Oh wow. Okay. Set the lock screen for your vehicle. I know I don't want to lock the screen later. You can also set the vehicle name. All right. Well, we'll do that later too. You guys don't care about that, right? All right. It says that we have 19.5 miles of range left. 22, but the battery is at 22%. Like the screen. Okay, so we're just going to let it sit here for a second so you guys can just admire it. Admire the V12 that I've been waiting for forever. Those of you that follow the channel might have seen in the community section post that FedEx let me down once again. This wheel was supposed to be here on Monday. Did not arrive. It was in Orlando Monday for some reason, and then it showed up today. Now, luckily, it showed up today relatively early, but it was a day late as usual. I've had so many wheel deliveries from FedEx not show up when they're supposed to, and yeah, I find it really annoying. So here it is. V12, what do you think? Optimus Prime is here. Hey, bud, how you doing? Drone Nerd, E. Simon. Drone Nerd asks me, this isn't really a appropriate question yet. What's up, man? What's your favorite wheel to date? I don't know. I'll tell you outside of the V12 because I don't know much about it yet. I would say my favorite wheel in my collection. Oh boy, I can't answer that fairly because depending on the situation, both suspension wheels are great. They're definitely significantly easier on my body than a non-suspension wheel. But I love the speed and what feels like nearly infinite range of the Shermans. So if I'm just cruising flat roads, want to get somewhere far and fast, it's the Sherman. If I'm doing something that has uneven terrain, it's the V11 or the S18. So, and the reason that the suspension wheels appeal to me so much is just because of the various aches and pains that I continue to encounter in an increasing amount as I age. You know, my lower back is a freaking mess. I mean, it's getting to the point where I might have to go, see somebody about it. I've been just trying to sort of ignore it for over a year, and it's bad. So, Spartacus is here from Minnesota. Hey, how you doing, man? Optimus says, yes, it's got its own kickstand. Yes, it does. It has its own kickstand, and I probably will put it on its own kickstand, but I just wanted to size it up on my stand because I haven't had a chance to see what works with the V12. Now, so I can tell you straight away that this won't work with like one of the standard width stands, like a 2.1 stand. That'll be too narrow. You're definitely going to want an adjustable stand for this, but it is good to see that the height is okay because the pedals are at their highest height right now. I think it is. It looks like it is. And I still have, I could probably go another 3/4 of an inch down low. So you do not need tall sides for this. So that's good. Hate Mail. Oh, I remember Hate Mail. How you doing, man? Electric Unicycles here. Dale is here. Wow. It's very early in the morning there, Dale. So I'm not sure if you just woke up or if you're just staying up late. E. Simon is here. Yes, it does look great. I like the way it looks because I remember when the V12 was introduced, those original photos that were released to the FCC. Remember those? I kind of thought it looked sort of butt ugly. Really, that was my initial feeling about it. But in person, it looks nice. It does look nice, and I think it'll look nicer once I turn it on with the lights and stuff. Oh, Dale, it's 10:20 a.m. there in Australia. Awesome, cool. Corey's here from Oklahoma. Welcome. Bill S. Oh, so you're waiting for your wheel too? Is this the big batch? No, this is not the big batch. E-Wheels had an allocation of 30 production wheels initially, and this is one of those 30. So there are very, very few of these in the United States. The big batch, I believe you're not going to see until September, possibly even October. The transportation turnaround time on wheels right now is atrocious. It's expensive. It's slow. If you're waiting for something, you're gonna be waiting a long time, unfortunately. All right, Marty Eakins here. Hey, bud. Does it have that new wheel smell? Yeah, usually with a new wheel, I smell the tire more than anything. It smells good. Tire's good. I mean, I like that. I mean, it's not a Sherman knobby, but that's a decent tread. Kind of looks like I don't know, the EUC equivalent of an all-weather tire, maybe. I like the tire on it. Cynthia, what's up, Cynthia? your back might be a herniated disc if it won't heal. I don't know. It's weird because what it is it's not necessarily on the spine usually. It's usually pain most often in my lower right back on the side. And when it's almost like maybe a spasm. I don't know if it's spasming or what it is, but there's extreme tightness, and depending on the situation, there's extreme pain there as well. But it's the kind of thing that usually if I take Advil, it'll knock it out and it'll mask the symptoms for a while. But I cannot get rid of it, unfortunately. When I was younger, you could just kind of crack your neck a little bit and most problems went away. That's not the case anymore at 53 years old, unfortunately. Interested to hear what a more conservative rider thinks of the V12 braking. Conservative rider? Come on, man. No, you're right. No, I am definitely a conservative rider. I do have a set of Clark pads sitting in the hobby room back there that I'm not going to use them initially to do my initial testing, but I do have a set of Clark pads, and I was anticipating probably using those on the V12. I have the pads I got from Shane on the Sherman, and so far I've liked them. I have definitely been able to feel an appreciable difference in braking and accelerating, so I figured I'll do something similar with the V12. CS Rodney, the V11 has a better look. You went from Trinidad and Tobago. Really? No kidding. I would, yeah, well, I mean, there were people when the V11 came out that said it was hideous as well. The V11 kind of had a Mad Max look, or has a Mad Max look to me. And the V11 has no side lighting. The V11 has no speakers. I kind of, even though it's funny, even though I didn't think I was that much into LEDs and speakers, I kind of like having that option. And when they introduced the V11, they said at that time, and I don't know whatever happened in these plans, they said that they were going to be selling add-ons for the V11 that allowed you to add side LEDs and speakers. And that never happened. I never heard an explanation of why, but that was originally talked about, but did not happen. Duff, have they improved the front lights? Because the prototype front light is not so bright. I'll let you know when I do some night riding. I mean, supposedly it's super bright. That's one thing I thought was odd. The quad light setup here, I thought that was a little off-putting, looks a little uneven. The lenses are different sizes, but I'll let you know. Again, I don't do tons of night riding, but the V11 headlight, for me, was the brightest I've ever experienced. So I wouldn't expect the V12 to be worse, but we shall see. Dale says, I don't look a day over 40. Thanks, bud. It's nice to hear. I wish I felt like I was 40. When I was 40, I felt much better. I was not dealing with the same kind of issues that I deal with now. EUC Vibes, what's up, my V12 brother? I have mine coming mañana. Good. Is yours going to hit the original promise date by FedEx? Because mine, once again, was late. I've complained repeatedly about FedEx, and I don't know if it's just a Florida problem, but FedEx ground packages from e-wheels. I don't know what the deal is, but they hit Florida and they just slow the hell down, and they rarely show up when they're promised. It really annoys me. Don't set a date that you can't meet, especially when you're in the business of delivering things. Mitchell, I turned in. I guess we're talking about a V12 engine. I don't know. Are we? We're talking about a V12 that's sitting right in front of you. Yeah. Okay. So we are. Let's put this up here. Now I know it fits in the stand, so maybe we will utilize the kickstand and turn this thing around a little bit for you guys. It does have a low charge rate. Now, unfortunately, yes, yeah, I have you so close, you can't really see as much as I'd like you to see. So let's see if I can back you up a little bit here. Let's see if we can make this work. I don't know. So they put you on top of a Matchbox car, and I move that there. Slightly better. So let's get rid of this. If this is too close, I'll just move it in the back. But you can't see it that well if I move it far away from the camera. Okay, here's that trolley handle that they gave you special instructions on how to work. Wow, that was tough. That's really tough. Some people complain about this, the general Inmotion design of trolley handles, how they just kind of pull up, and I've never had an issue with them. I always found them nice. They're on the V5F. They're on the V11, V12. I've always found this style to be nice. I don't mind it at all. All right, so let's unplug here. Let's take it off the stand. Let's figure out the best way to do this. Actually, I love these little hard rubber pieces here, these bumpers. There are a lot of things with a V12 that are going to be ripped off and mimicked by other companies, and this is one of them. Having a real hard rubber bumper on the front and back. I mean, why didn't anybody else come up with that? It's kind of stupid, right? All right, let's turn it on. Let's make sure it works. I think I heard someone say they had a DOA wheel. Hey, there you go. It's bouncing. It's bouncing, and I have not done any homework on the screen. I'm just looking. Total mileage on this is 0 kilometers. Someone had mentioned that they saw 3 kilometers on their wheel, so they had the suspicion that their wheel was taken out and ridden by somebody. Max speed, let's see. I know you guys can't see this. I apologize. Max speed, 60 kilometers an hour. Okay, I'm going to put that there. Speed alarms. This is interesting. Yeah, I'll do a whole video on walking through these settings. So you're just going to have to deal with my verbal description right now. Drive mode, commuting and off-road for the drive mode, pedal sensitivity, auto lights, ambient lighting mode. Speed. You see anything? Oh, there you go. You can have a lighting configuration that is based on speed. So when you're going slower, it's green, and then it goes up to red, maybe? I don't know. All right, let's see. Music, you can have one that's tied into the music that's playing. All right, well, that's nice. Volume, screen auto off, sound wave, spin kill, that's the switch. Another nice thing about Inmotion wheels is the ability to set the pedal angle. You can, depending on your riding style, you can angle it up or down. I'm usually a pretty flat rider, but that is nice for a lot of people. So I wonder if I can do this. If I can disengage, kickstand it, and then let it go without it going crazy. I can. All right. Can I still do shit in here too? I can. All right. Well, this is okay. That's kind of neat, right? You guys get a little bit of a light show while we talk about things. All right. Those of you that just tuned in, one of the first things I did is I weighed this thing. 64 pounds, according to my bathroom scale. So clearly the heaviest 16-inch wheel that I've ever had. I had a 16X, KingSong 16X, and that was low 50s. I think maybe low 50s, 55. So yeah, this is the beefiest 16-inch wheel that I have ever had. Okay, let's see if we can logistically make this work. Maybe we can. I don't know. All right. Beautiful Inmotion on your desk. Yeah, well, it's not actually on my desk. It's right next to my desk. I have my little portable table that you'll see sometimes in the hobby room when I'm doing teardowns, like when I'm replacing Inmotion V5F battery packs. Got this little portable fold-up table that comes in handy for all kinds of stuff. So I have that right in front of my desk right now. Edgar says top speed issues. I heard that actually the wheel tilts back is 60 kilometers an hour. When I was just looking at this for top speed, let me just see if I can get back there quickly. Speed alarm, like the highest. Okay, I can set a speed alarm at 70, top speed of 70, but the max speed right now, the max speed on here says 60 kilometers an hour. So I don't know why it says 60. I'll have to do some more research on that. There might be something I have to do to actually unlock it to allow true top speed. But I have heard similar things that riders have had a hard time getting it up to that very top speed. But it doesn't. I'm not one of those riders that it's going to concern me. If I can't hit 70 kilometers an hour, it's fine. It's totally fine. So we shall see what kind of speed we get up to. If I can go, around 30 miles an hour on a 16-inch wheel comfortably and have it feel, I'll probably let some air out of this tire, maybe have it feel stable, like the 16X. The 16X felt very comfortable at 25, 26 miles an hour. And that had a rated top speed of 31 miles an hour. So, if this can carry me 30, 31 miles an hour, that's all I really need out of a 16-inch wheel, and probably even a little bit more than I need. So, but we will see in the coming days. You will see it all. Edgar, I don't know if this is truth. I just unboxed the wheel tonight, so I do not know personally. But I will definitely report it. I need to do some homework. I need to thoroughly go through the app settings. And I think, I don't know if I can do any more on the app than I can on the display. Probably, I guess, right? But I'm not sure. Let's see. Can I turn on the... There we go. Ooh. Whoa. Oh. High beams. Do not look directly into high beams. Holy shit. Oh, I got two dark circles in my field of vision. Whoa. Okay, well, based on that test, they're pretty bright. Okay. That was really stupid. Oh my God. So stupid. Yeah, there's a ton of settings in here. So, but again, on the app here, it says, and I don't know if you can see this in the app. Let's see. Can you see that? Max speed 60 kilometers. Oh, wow. Actually, I'm sorry. Actually, it says 60 miles per hour. That's interesting. So, okay. Is it just set for imperial measurements? Was this saying 60 and not 60? No, okay. I think it's just a typo because on the screen it says 60 kilometers an hour. So that's just an oddity here with the app. Yeah, so many settings. Oh yeah, firmware upgrades. Okay, I'm at the latest firmware. The firmware on this wheel is 1.4.24. If in case you're a firmware nerd, there you go. That's what it is. Okay. L. Smith is here. Okay, we got some lower back tips. Here's something you should try to help your lower back pain. Lock your leg while standing and swing your leg as high as you can up in front of you towards the ceiling. Okay, well, I work out pretty much every day at lunch, and my workout, actually every workout, I start with 5 minutes on a cross trainer machine, and during that 5 minutes, I am doing stretches for my forearms because I had a history of tendonitis in my forearms from doing lots of calisthenics. So during that 5 minutes on the cross trainer, I'm doing this on with both arms. I'm stretching my forearms out, and since I started stretching those years ago, I haven't had a reoccurrence of tendonitis. So my point is, I'm a big proponent of doing stretching. After I do that, I do another set of stretching before I start lifting. Like I do lower body stretching. I can touch the floor with my palms. You know, I'm pretty flexible with my hamstrings. I can touch my one heel to my rear end, doing a quad stretch, and I also do an IT band stretch. And I also do a trunk twist, you know, and I'm sure this is really interesting to EUC people, but I do a trunk twist where I'm doing this to kind of stretch the lower back, and I do regular stretching, and it's not doing the trick. There's times where I'm okay, but there's times where I am just locked up. I was emptying the dryer yesterday, and all of a sudden it kicked in, and I could not bend over without supporting my weight on my knee with my arm. It's terrible, man, and frustrating. It is frustrating for someone like me, for sure. Okay, what do we got here? 97% get the F out. Says, I noticed a subtle electric whining noise coming from my MSX while powered up and not moving. Do you think that is normal? Yeah, more than likely it is normal. Depending on the wheel, I have seen that behavior. Like if I re-engage this, I don't know if you'll hear it when it's not moving. Let's see. Disengage. Okay. Yeah, I don't know that gets picked up on the mic, but there is a very subtle noise going on here. And depending on the wheel, I have heard that more often than not, I would say. Disengage. The kickstand on here is a little bit more substantial. And what's on the V11, it feels like it's a little wider. So it feels like it will actually support the weight of the wheel a little bit better, which is good. Definitely good. All right. Mitchell, okay, Bill S. How loud is the speaker compared to the KingSong 16X? Well, this is something hard to demonstrate. Let's see if I can, how easily I can connect to this with Bluetooth. V12. Okay, so I'm connected to the V12, but will I be able to play music on it? Let's see. I'm just gonna. If I do, it's gonna be quick because. That's how long it's been since I've played music on Pandora, Christmas music that I probably played this past Christmas, I would imagine. But I'm not seeing a Bluetooth speaker option. I probably have to turn something on in the app. Again, that's something that I will test. I will test that for you guys. I'm going to break it down into a bunch of videos, similar to what I've done with all the wheels. I kind of like focusing on certain aspects of the wheel, and instead of just giving you a 10,000 foot view down of all the features briefly. I kind of like to dig in, give kind of a more comprehensive look at specific features. Is the overall, one best says, is the overall diameter of the wheel similar to the 16X? Do you mean as far as, okay, well here, it's eyeballing, it looks like it's higher. I mean, the case looks higher. I do have a measuring tape here. So I'll measure some dimensions for you. And I'll get my phone away from the speaker so it does not backfeed. Let's see what we got here. All right, front to back, and this is going to be a rough estimate. 18 inches. 18 inches this way. Right about 2 feet. Close. So I would say about 18 this way, about 2 feet that way. Tire looks similar in width. Yeah, 3-inch wide tire. It's substantial. And I mean, it's so funny the difference when you pull out an Inmotion wheel compared to other wheels. It feels like a high quality commercial electronic product, which all EUC manufacturers do not, for sure. So 97%, set the tilt back to 30, just so I know my speed. I'll accelerate through it if necessary. Yeah, I'll probably, typically I like to set my tilt back, maybe 5 miles an hour above or below top speed rating. And of course, that's all battery level dependent. Yeah, because I mean, 70 kilometers an hour is a rated top speed of 43.5 miles an hour. That's what I was just doing there. I'll tell myself. So a wheel with a rated top speed of 43.5 miles an hour should be able to cruise 30 to 31 for a while. That is my hope. Now, when I did a poll on my channel asking things that people were most interested in seeing when I tested V12, and it seems like the biggest draw was a 25 mile an hour range test. In the past I was doing range tests where I'm keeping my speed 18 to 20 miles an hour, kind of mimicking what Marty does. Well, Marty does that. So I'm at this point in my riding, my riding career, or whatever you want to call it. I'm comfortable cruising 25, 26 miles an hour. So I'm going to head out to Ave Maria, doing that speed mostly on the wheel and see what I can do. I don't have any wheel that can cover that distance, which is 34, 35 miles, going that kind of speed other than the Sherman. The V11 can't do it, and the S18 cannot do it. I want to see if the V12 can. I hope it can. It'd be great if it does. That would be great. Okay, Dan asked what tire it has. Okay, let's see. It's a CST tire. CST. CST. Let's see if we can see the exact. CST. Some Chinese markings, which mean nothing to me. (35 to 45 psi), and I'll probably be running closer to 30 psi in this thing. Yeah, I don't know, it's a CST, unless there's somewhere else that there's model information on it. Let's disengage and rock back. Yeah, that's cool, man. Definitely like the stand on this one. Definitely an improvement from the V11. It is for sure. All right. Shield 400 is here. Hey, so Joe, did you ride your Sur-On yet? Joe just got a Sur-On. It's one of those ridiculously powerful electric bikes. It sort of looks like kind of looks like a moped, to be honest with you, but it's fast as hell. Very, very fast. Never rode one, never really had the desire to get one, but they are fast. You can set up a password and put your logo on the home screen. Oh, really? You can just like upload a JPEG or something to it? Oh, that'd be cool. I could put No Skill Zombie Rider as the logo. Oh, that would be cool, wouldn't it? So you can only do that if you lock it though, right, with a password. All right. Well, if that is a possibility, or extreme, I could put extreme on there too. Okay, well, now that I know that, now I'm more interested in the password functionality. All right, I'm scrolling here, guys. Oh, another FedEx fan like me. Bill H is still waiting for FedEx. Fed up with FedEx. Maybe tomorrow. This will make it 3 days waiting. So what does it show for you as far as the status? Because like what happened for me is it crossed over into, it had an in-transit message in Belle Isle, Florida. But then Belle Isle is very close to Orlando, and it went from Belle Isle to Orlando and then just stayed there for like 3/4 of a day for no reason. And that's the reason that it did not get to me on time. And that's happened multiple times. I remember one time I was so angry, I called them up, and I was, and it's ridiculous. I'm demanding an explanation from the guy on the phone who's probably in a call center and God knows where. He doesn't know anything about it. But I'm like, what the hell's going on in Florida, man? Why are deliveries so bad in Florida? And the only thing he could say was, our delivery dates, they're only projected. They're not written in stone. So that, just because we say it's going to be delivered on a day doesn't mean that it's going to be delivered on that day. So as a consumer, that makes me feel a lot better, let me tell you. So just I've never had that issue with UPS. So just saying. Talking about my stinky back. Inverted table will do wonders for your back. So last year I bought some of those hooks, those boots that have hooks on them that you can hook to a bar and hang upside down. And I still have them. Now, to be honest, I have not used them in a long time. I was using them as part of, like, when I get home, I do like a little mini body weight routine normally. And I was doing that for probably a month, and I didn't really notice that appreciable difference. So I stopped doing it, and I haven't gone back to it, not for any particular reason other than I just kind of forgot about it. Maybe I need to try that again. I don't know. So it's a little shady when you're running on a bar as opposed to an inverted table, because there is a possibility when you're inverted that you can possibly pass out, and if you pass out upside down long enough, you can die. That is a fact. So I was a little sketchy about it. I'm trying to think how long I would hang. 30 to 60 seconds maybe, and I'm straight upside down when I'm doing it. I'm hanging there like a bat. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it again. We'll see. But like I said, it doesn't feel like it's in the vertebrae. It's off to the side. It feels like it's a spasm, but who knows? I don't know anything about backs. All right. So Dale said he saw a video comparing the speakers of the V11. Yeah, where did I see that? I saw that too. That might have been Jack from KingSong. I think he might have done that. And I do recall thinking that the 16X did sound slightly better. I'm not an audiophile, so to me, it's gonna be a non-issue. But for some people, audio fidelity might matter. I don't know. Not a big deal for me. How solid, Optimus Prime, how solid do you think the shell is? It feels good. It does not feel like shitty plastic. Up here, this is actually a pad up top here. It's very firm. This is not gonna give you the soft cushies pushing this, but the way that anyone that's seen me ride knows that how bow-legged I am. In most situations, my legs aren't even really touching the shell anyway. So the pedals, standard grip tape pedals. I could see me getting spiked pedals. I have spiked pedals on my V11 that I got from Merlin Fish. If he does something similar for the V12, I might go that route. Although Inmotion is pushing their own spiked pedals as well for the V12. Like I mentioned earlier, the pedals seem to be adjusted at their max height. That's one of the interesting things and new things about the V12 is it has 3, unless I'm missing one, looks like 3. Yeah. There's 3 slots that you can put the pedal hangers in to adjust the height of the pedal hangers. There are 4 bolts in here that you have to remove, and then you just slide it out and slide it into whatever height you want. Now, I will probably, unless there's a problem, if it feels bad, I'm going to leave it at the highest height. Usually in most situations, the most clearance is the best situation, so I'm going to leave them as high as they are right now. Fit and finish wise, like I said earlier, these bumpers they feel really, really good. They do not feel like little tacky, add-on items. They feel like an integrated part of the shell, and they stick out far enough to protect your light, to hopefully protect your screen. Really, really cool. The mudguard. I haven't heard much talk about the mudguard. Mudguard seems fine. It sticks out plenty far enough, and there's a little slot in there that you can hold your kickstand in. Back here is where the charge ports are, and you can see this is I don't know how revolutionary this is, but this actually has a USB-C connector back here. A lot of phones nowadays are USB-C, and a lot of USB devices actually are that as well, and a conventional USB-A, and the 100-volt charging port. I know a few people poo-pooed that they only have one charging port on this wheel. Again, I'm not a fast charger, so it does not matter to me, but to some people that will be significant. You know what I should do here? I'm gonna blind you guys. I'm gonna close your eyes. I'm gonna put the light on you. Because those guys that asked how bright the light is. So put your shades on. Oh wow, my freaking flashlight was on. All right, so here we go. Let's get back in the app. All right, so we're gonna. There's so many settings, guys. Oh my God. Let's find the lights. Where's the lights? Lights. Okay, I've missed the lights. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is low beam lights. Low beam being the top 2 lights. Okay, now these are the high beams. Again, hopefully I don't break my webcam, man. It might just overwhelm it. Okay, you can see the sun in front of you right now, right? That's high beam. All right. Not sure how effective of a test that was, but trust me, it's bright. I still have a bit of a headache from looking into those lights earlier. All right, so let's put it back down. Here we go. Okay. So anyways, yeah, my initial aura from the V12 is positive. Feels good, looks good. I am definitely a geek at heart, so I like buttons and switches and options. This wheel has the most tech in it of any wheel that I've ever owned. So it appeals to me. But that's just me. All right. So Dale thinks that he meant the circumference of the tire itself. I don't know how I can measure the circumference of the tire. Let's see. I can measure the diameter of the tire, sort of. Let me eyeball. Again, this will not be very scientific. Between 17 and a half and 18, I guess. That's kind of what it looked like to me. It's kind of hard to get a rock solid reading on it, but that's what it looks like to me. Cynthia says, wow, this is synchronicity. L. Smith said, kick your leg up in the air. And I was going to say, like Lucy pulling the ball from Charlie Brown. You just play Peanuts. Wow. Did you have like a feeling of deja vu at the same time? It is kind of ironic, though, isn't it? Corey, I'm curious to see how it rides seated compared to the 16X. It's too low for me at 6'2". Oh, I don't even have any disillusion of trying to ride this seated. No way. I have a hard time riding a Sherman seated. I have to put a block on it so I can be comfortable there. Now, I'm not the most flexible, guys, and I have very long legs. I'm 6'3", but I have disproportionately long legs, or at least it seems that way. So yeah, I would never be able to sit comfortably on the V12. Yeah, for me, sitting is something for bigger wheels. Now, I mean, I see guys sit on MSXs and stuff, and the mods that Marty does, where he puts bike seats on some of his wheels, that works out well. I mean, that gets it a lot higher, and probably would work well. You could probably rig that to work with the V12 as well. I just hate the way that looks. It kind of looks like a sexual deviant device or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the bike seat look, even though it's practical and it works, and probably comfortable. I don't know. And that's from someone saying, I'm saying they don't like the way it looks, but I'm okay with what I did to my Sherman seat, where I just basically cut a notch in a yoga block and like Velcroed it to the top. I'm okay with that, but who knows? I'm just strange, I guess. Ron asked, what power pad would you put on it? I have a set of Clark pads. Let me go get one of them just to show you how it fits. Okay, here's one of the Clark pads. So now the downside of this is, if you're going to put a Clark pad on here, guess what? There goes your cool looking side LEDs. You're not going to see them very well. And I'm trying to think how that would fit even, because it obviously needs to be above the pedal, but you're not going to have a flat surface here. Yeah, you would need some thick Velcro. Yeah, just looking at the way that lays on there, I don't know that I want to put Clark pads on this or not. Because you have this surface, but then you have the little lip here, and it does not accommodate that well. So we'll see. It's not the end of the world to me if I don't put pads on it, but we shall see. Maybe something smaller. I mean, there are smaller ones. I could 3D print myself a set. Some of the ones that are out there that are definitely smaller than the Clark pads. It might actually, Shane's pads might work pretty well. They're pretty low profile. Yeah, they would fit there probably. So we'll see. I'll come up with something. Fails on your fourth tire on the 16X. Wow, the tires are shit. Well, why don't you get new tires, dude? Get a different one. That's crazy. I mean, I know you ride a lot, but wow. So Joe has been riding his Sur-On. Okay, congrats. What's the top speed you got it up to so far? UC Vibe says the NSCR logo would be dope. Yeah, I wonder. So is that something? Is the logo something that you set on the screen, or did you do it through the app? Just wonder where you can do that. Current voltage of the wheel is 83.2 volts. Just FYI. Battery pack detail. I'm just looking at the settings here. It gives you some, under the detailed info for the battery packet, it'll show you the status of both packs, the voltage of both packs. And the voltage of both packs is identical, as you would hope. Yeah, so where would you set dazzled light effects? What's that? Oh, wow. I did see someone tell me this, like you can do lighting, you can do crazy lighting effects on this. I mean, really customizable, but really tedious and really probably not worth your effort. Yeah, unless, I mean, you've got nothing else to do with your life. But I guess if you're really into customizing lights, this will let you do it. Inmotion wheels are cool that you can customize the sound effects. I was thinking about, getting my extreme sound clip in there somehow, maybe. We'll see. All right, well, this is something better not to do in a live stream, right? To thumb through the settings on the app. Okay. Cynthia says, what is your favorite color? You should give it a sick paint job. Green is my favorite color. Green and orange, if you haven't looked at the color of my Tacoma or my tractor or my 69 Firebird convertible that I used to have. Those are all orange. So I would say green followed by orange. Yeah, I don't know that I want to paint a wheel. Plasti dip, maybe, but yeah, paint. I know Marty's painted a bunch of his wheels, but that's. I don't really want to paint a wheel. Sliders, gliders. Hey, I heard you did an unboxing recently, buddy. Congrats. I'm sorry that I'm behind in chat, guys. I'm just, let's see. Optimist, do you think the V12 is easy to fit a seat on it? Well, I assume that they're going to have an official seat for it. They would probably use a similar strategy to the V11, where they could mount it right up here. So yeah, there definitely is a spot to do it. I just don't know that it would interest me at all. But I think this is very, very stable here. This is not cheap plastic. This feels like a very sturdy surface that you could mount something here. And I just activated the screen, and I'm trying to. Whoops. Oh, okay. I was just being stupid there. Sorry. I heard some people complain that the screen is not very visible during daytime. I'm curious about that myself. How much I can see it when I'm cruising on the road. But I did already have the idea if it is not visible. I was curious, like how much a glare screen would help. I don't know if the problem is it just gets washed out, or if it's too reflective in bright light. So, if it is a reflectivity problem, is that a word? I don't know. I'm gonna try putting like a screen protector on there and see what happens. Okay, Ron said just as bad MBA. I assume he's talking about FedEx. Yep. I do not have a high opinion of FedEx. Skeptic 77. Time for stem cell injections. What, in my back? Yeah, I don't know. And my knees are bad too, by the way. I had my one knee scoped twice in my early 30s. It's passable, but like I totally stopped running last year just because between the back and the knees, it's no fun. Some of you that follow my Instagram and stuff, you might see that I've actually started to try to road bike again. Road bike, is very hard cardio. I don't enjoy it that much. It's kind of uncomfortable, the riding position for me, but it is a non-impact way to get some pretty serious cardio in. So I am going to see if I can keep road biking in my rotation of things that I do on a regular basis. Hey Duff, what's up, drone nerd? How you like it? I've been talking about it for almost an hour. I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. I like the lights. I like the feature sets. I like the tech. But of course, what really matters is how it feels riding. And that's I'm not going to get a chance to do that. I don't know if hopefully I'll get to go out one night this week. It's been very rainy here. Now, someone was it E. Simon asked me to give it a rain test, because those of you that are familiar with my history know that that's one of the things that I inadvertently did with the V11, my first production V11. I was doing it might have been during my range test on the V11, or I was going somewhere pretty far out. I got caught in a massive thunderstorm on the way home. And you couldn't have wetter roads than what I was riding in. The V11 was fine, seemed fine, didn't act bad at all. But then once I got home, I basically just took the wheel inside, stuck it on the stand, and let it sit there for a week. And when I fired it up the next weekend to ride it some more, as soon as I turned it on and rolled it 6 feet, I heard a strange noise from the wheel, and that noise was the bearing, the hollow motor bearing, the now infamous hollow motor bearings in the V11s and the Gotway wheels. That was the first time that I've heard of someone having a problem with a hollow motor bearing, and there's been hundreds of people following me that have had similar problems with them. And to this day, I would never knowingly ride the V11 in rain if I don't have to. The V12 does not have a hollow motor, and I'm actually kind of happy about that. So I am going to try, I'm not scared to ride it in the rain, because people want to know how rain resistant it is. Now, the only difference is if I do get stuck in the rain, riding in the rain, I'm going to take some basic precautions that I should have taken with the V11 that may have helped me back then. One of those things is just basically lifting the wheel up and let it spin out. Let it spin out at a high speed to eject as much water from possible from the motor area and the bearing area. Second of all, I got my nice little handy DeWalt cordless blower. Just freaking blow out as much moisture as possible. So, but yeah, I am going to try to see how this does with water resistance. Supposedly, it has a very, very high IP rating. The battery pack has a higher IP rating than the wheel itself. So, I mean, if it's rated to be water resistant, we need to see how it acts in real life, right? So, I will do my best to do that. I rode it yet? No, I did not ride it yet. At the beginning of this live stream, I actually was literally unboxing it. So took it out. It has about 18 or 19% battery on it. So yeah, it needs to be charged up, and it's not ready to ride. Imran Khan. I recognize you. Imran, how you doing? Imran misses my updates on the chickens. Well, I have to be honest with you. I don't do a lot of updates on the chickens because it makes me sad, because usually the only updates I have on my chickens is when one dies. And we are down to 4 chickens now. And they will be our last 4 chickens. I'm not getting more chicks. I'm an animal lover. I mean, animals in our family, or my family, I feel like they are literally part of the family. And like when one dies, even a chicken, it just wrecks me. It gets me so upset. We've lost chickens to coyotes. We've lost chickens to illness. We've lost chickens to falling off the perch at night. The most recent chicken we lost, Cupcake, she one day she seemed fine, absolutely fine. I noticed nothing prior to this, but the one day I come out in the morning to do my chicken stuff, and again I apologize if this isn't V12 talk, but you never know what you're going to get with me. I come out and she is sitting in an odd position, a position that usually a chicken is standing on their 2 legs. She's sitting, and I look at her closely, and her entire abdomen area, she looked like a water balloon. She had all of this swelling in her abdomen. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And she was one of my favorite birds. So to make a long story short, at first I thought it was a condition called water belly. chickens can have like a problem with their organs that make them swell. Like they could have like a swelling, but it's still very odd that it would happen as quickly as it did, because it was literally not there one day and there the next. But I thought it was this water belly condition. I did some research on it, and they said, okay, well, with water belly, it's usually indicative of a serious problem that'll probably be fatal, but you can actually give the bird an extended lifespan by draining that fluid periodically. So I actually went out and bought a syringe, bought an 18 gauge needle, and tried to withdraw fluid. And I couldn't get any. I got a little bit of blood, but not fluid like you're supposed to be getting. So I actually took the bird to the vet. And there's not a lot of vets that deal with chickens. Most people don't want to pay vet bills for chickens. But I took the bird to the vet to say, hey, can you help me? I don't know what's going on. I thought it was water belly, and it does not appear to be. She tried to drain fluid as well. She could not get anything. She said, okay, well, I couldn't get fluid either. Here are your options. I could do an x-ray, or we could just blindly give her antibiotics to see what's going on in there. So I opted for an x-ray, and what it saw in there was egg fragment shells, or what she thought was egg fragment shells. She could see in the swollen area. And basically, what's it called? Egg periodontitis, I believe. What can happen is if an egg breaks inside of a chicken, eggs are filled with bacteria, and that quickly becomes infection. So this whole inflamed area was infection, more than likely from an egg breaking inside of her. So I'm like, oh, geez, you got to be kidding me. So I said, so what do you recommend? She said, well, you could try to give her oral antibiotics, keep her separated for 2 weeks under a heat lamp, and maybe that might help with the infection. And then we might be able to do an operation on her. I'm like, that does not sound reasonable. And I said, so doing this, like, what are the realistic expectations of a positive outcome? And she said, very, very slim. With something that's advanced that quickly to that degree, that the odds of recovery are very, very slim. So I actually just told her to put her down, like you would put down the cat or a dog. I had her put down the chicken. And isn't that crazy? It still bothers me to even say that. So anyways, yeah, I put her down and brought her home and buried her. So long story short, that's what. And it was a long story long. Sorry that went too long, but yeah, we lost her, and I am not replenishing my chicken supply. It's a bad deal for someone like me. You originally went into it thinking like, oh man, look, we're gonna get all these high quality eggs for free. Let me tell you, it's no exaggeration that I have spent easily more than $10,000 on those chickens since we first adopted them, with everything that I built and did for them, and it's insane. It really is insane. They've had, as far as chicken lives go, it's been spectacular, but it's definitely doesn't make much sense from an investment an investment perspective. So yeah, there's your chicken update, Imran. Spartacus says, I used to work for FedEx back in the day. It may be the heavyweight of the package. Packages over 50 pounds aren't supposed to run through the regular system. They move on a slower belt. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. All I can tell you is on Facebook, I kept seeing all these other guys in that batch of 30 saying, hey, I got my V12, I think the first one I saw was Jimmy Chang. He lives in Colorado, so I guess he got it earlier than most. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. I don't know, being impatient. When you wait that long and you think you're going to get it, it's a real letdown. You don't. Dan misses the chickens too. Yeah. So Dale says, I'm thinking that lip in the front would make braking while seated much better. Yeah, no, you could definitely, you could get your fingers under there and apply some leverage. It would definitely be helpful in that scenario. Not that I'm not right at seated, but yeah, if you could, that would work without a doubt. That thing is solid. That is really solid. Marty Eakin, one of my channel members, by the way. Thank you again, Marty. FedEx delivers to the wrong house 20% of the time, so I always get stressed when I see a wheel coming on FedEx. Yeah, I have had that happen as well. They I have Ring doorbells, so I was monitoring them today, looking for activity. Just trying to make sure that it arrived safely. It actually arrived in the morning. Luckily, Cindy was here, so it arrived safely early. There was no drama, so that was good. So Kenny canceled your V12 pre-order and went with an EXN. Hopefully, I'm not disappointed. EXN is a nice wheel. Very powerful. Nice size battery. Definitely runs hot. It is a hot running wheel. If you're running a lot of inclines or in a hot temperature, be sure to be or hot climate. Make sure you're keeping an eye on the temperature. But I have not heard anyone say that they did not like their EXN. So I would expect that you'll like it as well. But do not expect a wheel of build quality anything approaching an Inmotion wheel. And for a lot of people, that doesn't matter. They just want to go fast and long. So. Sliders, gliders. I can tell you right now, the plastic clips on the back of the side pads are shit. They are. So those are clipped in. It's not taped in. It's clipped in. It's interesting because when I did the battery swap on Katie's Inmotion V5F, those pads are clipped in as well. Not double-sided tape, they're clips. And they seemed okay. I was able to remove them without breaking them and reinstall them without breaking them. So how comes you took your pads off? Or were they broken out of the box? Yeah, I'm curious how those would break. Huh. Well, it's good to know. When you open yours up, you realize that after opening it, the clips were broken on the bottom of my left side pad. Really? Yeah, no, mine are fine. So are you the one? I read an account from someone that someone had a pad broken. I assume it was yours. And someone else said that it looked like there were wear marks on the wheel and like there's 3 kilometers on it already. Like someone had taken it out for a test ride. Was that your wheel? If so, that sucks because mine has no mileage on it. And as far as I can tell, I see no signs of any use or damage. Everything looks pretty solid, luckily. Edmund Co. Nice looking wheel. Can't wait for your ride. Yeah, there'll be a lot of them. I would expect, heck, with the V11, man. I think I did like 10 videos with the V11, just talking about it. And see, the thing is when I'm doing evaluations on demo wheels, there's a time crunch, because, well, I'm different than some testers. I actually cared about, keeping the wheel too long so other people could, get a shot at it. Some people that have tested wheels don't really care about that. But I was always conscious of that, and I was always trying to just jam in as much as I could in a very compressed timeline. Since this is my wheel, I'll be able to spend more time with it. So hopefully it results in good content. Yep, Dan, I mentioned that earlier. USB-C, USB-A, but only 100-volt charging port. And it's interesting that they have gone away from the, the V11's the same way, though. The V12's used to have the USB style charging port. It's not USB, but it kind of looks like a USB port like the KingSong has. The S18 still has that. But the V11 and the V12 both have more traditional. Is it a 5 or 6 pin charger? 5 pin? Yeah, 5. You can't see that. Probably 5 pin charger, which I believe is standard with most 100-volt wheels. So one thing that I know that I'm a little disappointed about with the V12, and again, with my use case, it's not going to be an issue. But it's the fact that they still, Inmotion is still opting to use the smaller MOSFETs in their wheels. Same thing that's in the V11. V12 has those same size MOSFETs. They don't have the bigger, I think the bigger ones are called 247s. Is that right? I'm not sure, but KingSong and Gotway have been using those bigger MOSFETs for years. And wheels like the S18 runs incredibly cool without any sort of auxiliary fan. And part of that is because those bigger MOSFETs are able to comfortably handle more current. For whatever reason, Inmotion has not made that switch yet. So that is a little bit disappointing. Again, it won't more than likely affect my use case, but there are people, like if you're a big hill climber, I don't know when Marty's going to get a chance to test a V12, but if he took it up overheat hill, I would be sort of doubtful that he would have a good result. I might be wrong, but I really am kind of surprised that they have not gone to the bigger MOSFETs yet. James Mucklin, hey buddy. At first I hated the look of the V12, but it's growing on me. Yeah. And it was the same thing for me with the V11. At first my initial impression was, and with the V12 it was even more so. Like I said, those early FCC photos, they did not look good. The wheel did not look attractive. In person, it looks much better. It does. And the lights make it look cool too. And actually I just noticed that it turned off. So let's see if you can turn it back on. Or can I not do that when I'm... Okay, when you have it tipped back, you can't turn it on. It's interesting, it turned off without any sort of audible warning. It just turned off. All right. Marty Eakin agrees the bike seat does look a little off, yes. Not saying it doesn't work right, and not saying that I don't appreciate Marty's craftsmanship, but it's just not for me. Optimus Prime, yes. If you want to ride long distance, you want some comfortable, yeah. Comfortable as in a comfortable seat. Yeah, for sure. Not for speed. So does this mean you finally start making pads for us? Oh, talking about making my own pads? I don't know. I doubt it. Making pads is a pain in the ass. I've made a set, just screwing around. It takes freaking forever. And the filament that you use, and if Shane was here, Shane from Shane's Planet, him and I have had some discussions about how frustrating it can be. Printing the material that you make those pads out of is a pain in the ass. It's expensive. You have to print slowly, and it's not an unusual occurrence to be 3/4 through a print and have something go wrong, and you've just spent 12 hours printing something that's going to go in the trash can. So it's not something I want to do, and I don't have my own design. So then you have to make sure that if you're going to be printing someone else's design, you have their permission, depending on the license that they have for the model. So it's just not for me. It really isn't. If you have a specific request, like I've done custom prints for people. They said, okay, hey, here's this EUC part on Thingiverse. can you print it for me? I look at the part, I look what's involved. I get a guesstimate of how much time it's going to take me, and I will do a custom print for someone. You know, they tell me what they want printed, and I give them a price, and if they agree to the price, then I will print it and sell it to them. But that's not something I would want to like stock and do on a regular basis. It's just a hassle, in my opinion. You made a real Gliders made a really nice yoga block seat today. Cool. Post a picture of it. I'll check it out. Corey Smith says the V12 sound effects are really satisfying. As much as I love the 16X, I'm tempted to rip out the beeper. Yes, I would say the sound effects that the Inmotion wheels make are the best, and they're customizable. You can customize pretty much any sound effect that you hear on that wheel, and add additional ones. So yeah, and as I spoke to earlier, the customization you can do on the lights is sort of ridiculous. So if you got the inclination, you can customize the shit out of it. Do the Knight Rider sound effect? Yeah, that would be cool. That would be a good sound effect. Real Talk asks, is there a V13? Supposedly, yes, there is. Supposedly, there is a V13. I do not know the details of it. One thing I can, those of you that saw Marty did a very brief, an EUC minute. Maybe that's a new feature he's going to be doing on his channel. He talked about that Gotway wheel that looked like it ripped off the KingSong S18 suspension. Not only does it rip off the KingSong S18 suspension, it rips off the Inmotion kickstand. It has that kickstand as well. And you know, because there was a rendering of this, and there was a lot of skepticism about if it's a real wheel or not. Marty showed a brief video that showed like the lower quarter of what appears to be that wheel rolling through puddles, and I can tell you that wheel is definitely, it is a thing. It is going to be something that they're going to be releasing. I don't know anything other spec-wise about it, but yeah, if you're interested in a Bugatti/Gotway wheel that has an S18 style suspension, that is a real thing, and that will be coming more than likely someday soon. Okay. Cynthia says it reminds me of R2D2 sitting there with those lights. Yeah, it does sort of. Yeah, I think the lights really help it. That and that's why I'm very hesitant about covering up those side lights with pads. That doesn't mean I won't do it. I might. I mean, I could put something up top here, maybe like just high, that I could just lean on to brake and accelerate. You know, something thin like Shane's pads. Clark pads you could not do that with, but the smaller pads you could. Shit, do I have? I'm trying to think of it. I still have one of those pads that I printed myself sitting somewhere. I'll mess around with it, but there might be some options. That's all I'm saying. So the smaller version Clark pads work pretty good, but they're about an inch tall. I'm not familiar with the smaller version Clark pads. All the Clark pads I've ever seen have been, you know, this general format. I mean, there are some variations to it, but I don't know. Well, maybe I need to look again. There might be something there I'm not familiar with. Pi r squared. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Pi r squared. To figure out the what the diameter. Ace of Lords. All right. You know of anything of Inmotion coming out with an attachment of external battery? I remember way back when Mickey was talking about the V12, there was some sort of talk about an external battery, not external, but swappable. That was something that I remember them talking about. And there's nothing here to me that indicates that actually made it to production, or if that's something that they're thinking about in the future. And I do not know anything about an external battery. Now, the battery in this is 1,750 watt hours, right? So that's good. I am curious how it translates into real world range, because one of the things that I am less than impressed about with the V11 is the range. The battery pack in the V11 is a little over 1,400 watt hours. The battery pack in the S18 is 1,100 watt hours. And in my range test, when I did range tests at higher speeds, the S18 seemed to actually match or even slightly do better than the V11 did at range. So I'm also curious if the V12 has that go home mode that the V11 had, that at least when I tried it didn't work for shit. I managed to put it into go home mode, and which supposedly is supposed to give you enough range to go home at a slower speed. In my situation, it got me like an extra 100 yards. It was, the low power battery management in the V11 was not impressive. Like, I was going 20 miles an hour towards the end with no problem. And then all of a sudden, bang, like extreme kickback kicked in, and it said, please charge or something like that. Like, I couldn't ride it until I put it into, it went from like 20 miles an hour to can't ride it, put it into go home mode, and I got like another 100 yards out of it. And that was it. So that was sort of annoying. I'm just looking at the manual right now as far as the battery, the rated capacity, 1,750 watt hours. The motor is rated at a 2,500. It's a 2,500 watt motor. That's a strong motor. And that's the Sherman is rated at a 2,500 watt motor. The cool thing is with the 16-inch wheel, you get more torque. It's physics. The smaller the wheel, the torqueier it will be. So I think the acceleration on this is going to probably be some of the most strong acceleration that I've had in any of my wheels. That would be my expectation. Does anyone know how to get the screen off kilometers per hour on the wheel? I don't know. I was just mentioning earlier that on the app, I have it flipped to imperial, US measurements. You would assume that you can do the same thing with the screen display, the app on the screen. I have not heard exactly how to do it. And that's one of the things I will mess around with. But if you find out before me, let me know. Cynthia, poor chicken. Yes, poor chicken indeed. Panda Bike came for the V12 but got a real story. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yep, I hear you, Optimus. I hear you. Okay. Real talk test ride. Yeah, technically, I probably could with, I use StreamYard to stream. You could actually stream on the phone while riding. Of course, that's very dependent on your cellular signal. And unfortunately, right around where I live, cellular signal is not good. It would be a dropout city, so I don't think it'd be very effective. But maybe someday I could try that. Not tonight. E. Simon asking for the rain test. Yes, sir. It's not winning any pageants, that's for sure. Like myself and other people have said, I think it kind of grows on you. It really does. Oh, it turned off again, though. Oh, wow. Okay. I guess, what was that, maybe 5 minutes? I guess that's how long it'll continue to run. I wonder, wait, let me try something. Do this, do this, do this. I'm wondering if I connect to it with the app, if it will stay running longer. Okay, there we go. We'll see if that makes a difference. Sliders, gliders. I think most Gotways overheat. Well, my MSX never overheated. I can tell you that. Monster Pro or my Monster never overheated. I never had a Gotway wheel that had an overheating problem. Monster Pro definitely has an issue, hence Marty's interesting air scoop solution. EXN definitely has an overheating problem. Definitely. I think the EX as well. So, but they're fast. They're fast and they go long. Jeffrey Hemphill, how much better than a V12 can ECs get? Maybe one that can stay upright like a gyroscope. Yeah, who knows? Maybe someday. Maybe someday they will do that. You've seen the motorcycles that do that, right? They make motorcycles that literally can stay upright while stationary. So maybe someday. I saw Honda was working on a one-wheel device. Someone posted it in one of the Facebook groups. It was a one-wheel. It was an EUC, but you sat on it. So it'd be very interesting to see what a company like Honda, with their resources, what they could come up with. I'm sure it'd be pretty amazing. Changing pedal sensitivity, change riding comfort a lot. Again, there's a lot of different tweaks you can do with the sensitivity. There's off-road, and what was the other mode here for pedals? I got so many things to go through and just see what I like and what I don't like. Yeah, the drive mode. There's two drive modes: commuting and off-roading. So. Okay, so off-roading is described as a high level of pedal hardness to handle hard acceleration, hills, climbing, and off-road riding. I generally like hard mode on all my wheels. I like the pedals very firm. Commuting, I assume, is softer pedals. So to switch between drive modes, you switch the mode and then you press the anti-spin button or turn the wheel off and on, and that changes your drive mode. Cool. And it also has something called split ride modes. I'm not sure what that means either. All right. Slider Glider's talking about the damage on his V12. The bottom one was broken. The bottom what? The bottom pad? What are you talking about? The bottom one was broken on left side bottom. Okay, I assume you're talking about the pads up high here, like up here somewhere, because there are no low pads on here. So, and again, I apologize that I am woefully behind on comments. I'm sorry, guys. You go Death, do your thing. Yeah, man. That's me. Do my thing. Okay, so you are the one that has some scratches on your wheel. Just net user. I prefer 56%, but recommend to try different values. Is my memory bad, or I'm not recalling what would you set to 56%? Lesfer says adjustable pedals is a plus. Yeah. Now, I had said incorrectly when I first started talking about the V12 that this was the first wheel that had adjustable pedals. That's not actually true. The S18 actually has the ability to adjust the pedal height. It's a little clunky the way they do it, but it does have the ability to adjust the pedal height in the S18. So I was incorrect when I said that way back when. Get an injection mold to make some. Jeffrey talking about the pads. Get an injection mold? I don't know. I mean, I've heard of people using they 3D print something and then they use that 3D print to create a mold. There is a process to do that. It did not seem simple or inexpensive, but yeah, I have heard of that being done. Tony, hi Def. Did I hear right about the V12 having the ability to fast charge in 2 hours with, I think, an 8 amp charger? I did not hear anything about that. The charger it comes with is, what did I say it was? 2.4 amps. It's only a single charge port. So I'm not sure. Let me see if it has a max charge rate on here in the specs. Let's see, charger. It estimates the charging time to charge to full from near empty, I guess, at 5 hours. So I mean, it does not say in here what the max charge rate is on here. I was talking about the water resistance. It rates the body of the wheel at an IPX5 water resistance. It rates the battery at IPX6. That is the water resistance. Blah, 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 blah. I'm looking at a couple of other of the specs here. Okay. So yeah, I did not hear about an 8 amp charger. I think what I heard was this is, it does look like a standard 100 volt charger. So if you have, for example, a 5 amp charger from another 100 volt wheel, like a Gotway wheel, the charger doesn't know or the batteries don't know what brand charger you're typing into or you're plugging into it. So I believe I heard people say that you could plug a higher output charger from another wheel manufacturer into the V12 and charges successfully. So, but I don't have any plans to do that or to test that. I don't need to. Garage wall protector from Amazon is great for lining 3D printed pads. For lining them. What does that mean? To put on top of them to like make them softer or something? I'm assuming that's what you mean. Does the S20 Eagle? Does anyone know if the S20 Eagle will have speakers? I do not know. My guess. If you asked me to guess, I would say yes. And the S20 Eagle is probably the one wheel coming out that most interests me because it's a wheel of Sherman size, not necessarily as fast as a Sherman, but fast enough for me with suspension. So, I mean, there's the possibility, depending on the specs, if that wheel can do 40 miles an hour or low 40s like a V12, I could see that potentially being something that I could replace the Sherman with. Really, you know, if I can cruise in the low 30s with suspension and have a 2,000 watt-hour plus battery, I'm probably good to go. That covers pretty much any riding situation that I've ever found myself in. Some people that's not enough, but for me that's enough. And you know, depending on you know the details of it, I could see that being a wheel that I'm very, very interested in, and interested in enough that I would consider swapping out one of my wheels for that, maybe two. I mean, I wouldn't need 3 suspension wheels, right? So I would probably part with one of the suspension wheels too in that scenario. So we will see what happens. That announcement is what, the 26th? Is it the 26th? 26th is next Thursday. Can't remember if it's the 26th or 27th, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they reveal. I heard a rumor that it could be it was originally pitched to be at least a 100 volt wheel. I heard someone tell me that they think that it could possibly be a 126 volt wheel. That would be kind of crazy, right? Cynthia's talking about the Boston Dynamics released a new video today with Atlas doing parkour. I did see that video. YouTube knows that I'm into that kind of stuff. I think I actually subscribed to Boston Dynamics channel. I did see that, but I have to say certain parts of that it almost looked like CGI. Yeah, some of it. I mean, if it legit can do some of those things, that's kind of crazy. Jeff, what happened to the chicken? Yeah, I don't want to recant the chicken story and get choked up again. If you watch the replay, you can hear the chicken story. long story short, we've lost a lot of chickens over the years. At the top, I think the most chickens we ever had at one time was 13, maybe 14, and I'm down to 4. And a couple of them are 6 years old, 6+ years old. We have 2 that are from our original batch and 2 from our second batch of chickens. But none of the chickens that are remaining are laying eggs, you know. Sliders, gliders, you make pads and 3D prints. I will buy them for the V12. Let's get started. I mean, I would seriously consider Shane's pads. Just looking at the dimensions of them, I think they might actually fit the V12 really well. And Shane could always use the business. All right. Oh, so Cynthia filled in Jeffrey on the chicken scenario. Thank you. Okay, talking about robots and their parkour. The half Grom from Honda. Is it called the half Grom? Oh, you're referring to a Grom. That's a motorcycle, right? It's like a small CC motorcycle. I've seen Groms before. Yeah, they're kind of funky. I used to have motorcycles as a young boy. I had a Yamaha Enduro 125. That was my first vehicle ever, a Yamaha Enduro 125. And then I had a Honda CB360T. That was a nice bike. And my dad gave me his old Moto Guzzi. I don't remember what year it was, a 90-something Moto Guzzi that I never really rode, and I actually wound up selling that. I just, as I got older, I had really minimal interest in riding the roads of Southwest Florida. Just too dangerous. There's so many distracted drivers. Now, I know it sounds hypocritical to say, yeah, I don't want to ride a motorcycle on the roads, but here I am riding my one-wheeled self-balancing device in the bike lanes of those same roads. Yeah, I do understand being called a hypocrite in that situation. Oh, God. One bad thing about being back here is it's hard on the eyes and the old eyes. Okay. E. Simon, I ride my MSP high speed and 84-volt MSX in over 4 degree summer temps, and they have not overheated yet. Yeah, well, that was my experience with the MSX. It ran very, very cold, or not cold, but very cool. MSX has been I love my M10 but as far as what a wheel could do for practical terms, the MSX was really my favorite Gotway I ever had. Sucker was fast. I always liked the look of the MSX style, even though some people do not like that look. And great range, great speed. Real big fan of the MSX. And I only sold it because I got the Sherman. You know, if I never got a Sherman, I would still have the MSX. Dale, both your ACMs had things melt and they dropped me. So what, you had early ACMs? Like the ones that Marty had? Katie's boyfriend, Daniel, has an ACM that I've ridden. I never really liked it that much. It was okay, but not for me. Dave says the cells are probably only a 0.3C charge rate. I do not know. And the specs do not just identify the type of cells that they're using. I assume they're 2170 cells. I don't know. Are they LG cells, Samsung? I don't know. I'm sure it was posted somewhere. I don't have that information committed to memory. No, it does not say. Jeffrey says if Tesla made an EUC, it would probably take you to orbit. I have gotten a couple questions about Teslas. A lot of you might know that my Tesla scenario where I had a Tesla Model 3, a 2019 Tesla Model 3. I traded it in on a Tesla Model Y in February of this year. Love the Model Y. through conversations with some coworkers of mine that also have Teslas, they let me know that just for the heck of it, they put one of their cars on Carvana or Vroom to get a trade-in number, and they got an incredibly high trade-in number for their Tesla. So I, for the hell of it, I put in my Model Y into Vroom, into Carvana and Vroom, and I sold my car outright, my Tesla to Vroom for almost $10,000 more than what I paid for it brand new, because the used car market is insane, even more so for Teslas because of the rising fuel prices and the long wait for Teslas. There's a lot of demand. So I got crazy money for my Tesla. I placed an order for another Tesla. The delivery date for it has been bouncing around. Originally, it was as early as mid-August. It's been as late as October. Last week, it was showing October. Currently, the delivery date range is showing very end of August till mid-September for my car to be here. So hopefully I'll have a Model Y by this time next month, no later than that. Because I've been just driving my Tacoma, which I love my Tacoma, but the Model Y is my favorite car to commute in ever, for sure. Okay, Shield Joe is just saying that the wall stuff, the wall padding is for more cushioning on your legs. And as I mentioned earlier, that's nice, but the way I ride, my lower legs rarely touch a wheel, so it's not a big deal for me. Okay, so Dale's heard something similar to me about the S20, 126 volts. Yep, that's what I'm hearing, and that's going to be pretty amazing if that's true, right? Rob Hitch is here. Hey, man, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Oh, wow, I think I'm actually catching up here. I am. Dale said someone got smug with me because you couldn't reveal where you got your info on it. Yeah. I have some not, I wouldn't call them inside sources, but I do have some good sources for information. And like I said, the person that told me that that voltage number for the S20, he generally knows what he's talking about. So that'd be pretty cool, right? I'd just like to know what the battery, what kind of battery configuration they're going for, and what sort of price range they're targeting. I think it's a slippery slope that wheels just keep accelerating upward in price. A $4,000 wheel just for me, with as much as I love EUCs and as many EUCs as I've bought over the years, $4,000 for a wheel just is not. It's not reasonable for me. I can't justify spending that much money for a wheel. Some people can, obviously, but I cannot, and I will not. So, well, I shouldn't say that. I would do it as long as I would negate some of that cost by selling some of my other wheels. Then I can justify it in my mind. But just flat out paying $4,000 for a new wheel, nope, can't do it. Dan, is it hard to get to the valve stem in the V12? All right, I can tell you right now, it doesn't look like it would be. Actually, it looks like it would be incredibly easy. But let's, because there's all kinds of exposed area here. Let's see. Okay, you can kind of see here. Of course, it's going to be on the other side. It's never going to be on the side that I actually lay it down on. Let's flip it over. Oh wow! Look at that. Can you see that? Okay, I gotta get your comment out of the way. Look at that. Right here it is. Look at that. Look how easy that is. Absolutely no obstruction whatsoever. That is sweet. That is a pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand wheels that require you to, use valve extensions and bend it all sorts of weird ways just to put air in the thing. That is great. That's one of the most accessible valve stems I've ever seen, actually. That is very cool. Now, the other thing I'm hoping with the V12, I haven't seen any sort of teardown information, but I hope that they kind of rethought some of the complexity with the V11 teardown. You know, the teardown of V11 is kind of miserable. I'm hoping that the V12 is much easier to work on. That's one of the cool things with the 16X is getting the motor out of that thing to like change a tire or a tube. Super easy. So easy to pull the motor out of that thing compared to something like the S18 or the V11. Those are kind of a nightmare. I'm hoping that it's not that hard on the V12. That would be great. But so far, yeah, I'm liking everything I'm seeing and feeling. I just need to get some road time on it. ACMs are 1,300 watt hours. Yeah, I think Daniel's is a 1,600 watt hour, possibly. It's very fat. It's very fat and short. And again, with my legs, just I don't know. It's not a real comfortable wheel for me to ride. Yeah, Stan, that is a lot easier than any wheel. I've like I said, I've never seen a wheel that's that accessible. That's awesome. And even if you had the pedal hangers at the lowest position, you still would have no problem accessing that. Accessing the valve stem. That would be cool. All right, guys. So I am caught up on chat. So if there's anything specifically you want me to answer for you now, I can do my best to do so. I'm not taking it out on the road tonight. I'm tired. I have to go to work tomorrow. But I was very curious to see what we were dealing with here. And at least first impressions, it's all good. Build quality seems very, very solid. High. I wonder, if I turn this towards you, I wonder if I can see anything here. Yeah, okay. You can kind of see the screen here. At least in indoor lighting conditions, I can see the screen very well. It's nice and forward. I'm curious, like when I'm actually riding, how it will appear when riding. I know when I'm riding the Sherman, where the screen is, at least for me, it's not ideal. Like I have to kind of like lean back so I can actually see the screen. I'm kind of hoping that this is more out in your normal field of view without having to do a lot of adjusting while you're riding. So we shall see about that. And we will do night riding. We will do a light test. We will do a speaker test. We will do a range test. We will do a reasonable speed test. We will not be trying to hit the absolute ceiling for speed. But we'll definitely make sure that it feels comfortable at speed. That's another thing that some people looked at the wheel negatively about, is because it's a 16-inch wheel. Oh, it's not going to be comfortable at speed. And I can tell you that in my experience, 16-inch wheels with 3-inch wide tires are comfortable at speeds. I felt no less secure riding my 16X in the high 20s than I did, my 18-inch wheels. It felt very stable at speed. Did not feel nervous, did not get wobbles. And this is heavier. I expected to feel even more planted than the 16X. I think the shell is probably a little higher as well. So I think stability will be okay. Let's see, what else? What else? Is there anything else? Let me just check one thing here quickly. Let's go here. Marty apologized for not being able to stop in tonight. It'd be fun to get his impressions, but he has a life too. You know, it's nice. What was I going to check here? Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. There we go. Do that. That. Okay. Okay, Joe's heading out. Nice to see you, Joe. I appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate everything that you've done for me. Same with you, Dale. And anyone else that's been in here. Like I said, look for a lot more content over the next couple weeks. I will be testing the V12 three ways to Sunday, as they say. And it should be a good time. Thanks to everyone for stopping in. That's all I got for now. Until next time, Duffman out. Happy Tuesday.